The mask of the month for April is the Gorgon Medusa. Before falling in love with the mythology of Harry Potter and other modern literary lore, I was already very much taken by a much older mythology. My childhood fantasies were filled with Greek and Roman gods and goddesses. It was almost a guarantee that a new sketchbook I had would contain at least one from the pantheon of well-built, golden-skinned beings. So for this mask of the month, I chose a goddess, but not one with golden skin. If you're unfamiliar with the tragedy of Medusa, or if you need a refresher for it, here's how it goes. Prior to her transformation, Medusa was a woman whose beauty fanned the desires of many, including that of the god Poseidon's. When our heroine was worshipping in the temple of Athena, the god raped her. Athena was offended that such an act was happening within her sacred ground. In her fury, and this is the part where even my younger mind could not make sense of, Athena thought to punish Medusa, but not Poseidon, by stripping her of her beauty and transforming her into something monstrous. Her long, lustrous curls were replaced by coiled, hissing serpents, and her gaze, when met, can turn any man to stone. Medusa's tale of being turned into a hideous creature destined to be slain by the handsome, muscular hero is not unique to her character. But hers is the tale I actually felt something for. I was okay with the Minotaur being slain by Theseus, although he was just this unwanted child hidden away by his parents. I was okay with Heracles slaying the Nemean lion, even though I thought the lion was more interesting than Heracles himself. But somehow, I was not okay that Medusa's tale ended with her death. Although I was somewhat appeased by the fact that her, shall we say, powers remained after her death, that any who gazed upon her face would still turn to stone, and that from her severed head sprung forth one of my favorite mythological creatures, the winged horse Pegasus. Making a Medusa mask was especially challenging because since the beginning I knew I would need more of my raw materials than I did for the other masks I have made. And I also was getting comfortable with the decision that this mask was going to have two separate pieces. Another challenge was deciding on how I would interpret the goddess's face. In many of her iterations, her face retained its former beauty, just framed by the terrifying Freudian image of writhing snakes. In many of her versions, her skin generally adapted a reptilian shade, but not a lot of interpretations actually featured her as having a snake face. The most monstrous I've seen her was in the 1981 Clash of the Titans, where she was green and scaly and heavy-browed with a permanent scowl, but she rather looks like a scalier version of the Wicked Witch of the West. I wanted to achieve a balance between monstrosity and femininity. The end result is something I am pleased with, although I am unsure if I was able to get that balance I was hoping for. I did have fun carving and molding a face that could turn men into stone, so there's that. Some have said that Ovid's retelling of this tale interprets the slaying of Medusa as the dying out of female goddesses. Here is my meager attempt at bringing one of them back and elevating her from this tragic villain to the rank of goddess that has been ruthlessly taken from her. 1 month was clearly not enough for me to achieve all my intended goals for this mask, but with what I had, in terms of time, experience, and medium, I'm still very proud of having hewn one of my early loves with my own hands. And that was April's mask of the month. If you have suggestions for future masks, make sure to drop them in the comments. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you're interested to see what May's mask will be, and possibly other artwork and book-related videos, make sure to subscribe. And I'll be seeing you in the next video.